So hello, Ajaita.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. So you finished your training a week ago?
Yes.
Or 2 weeks ago?
A week ago, yeah.
How was the training overall?
I loved it. I had been searching for yoga teacher trainings for the past year because I realized it was something I wanted to do eventually. I kept stumbling upon the name Three Sisters Yoga, and I wasn't sure whether I should take the leap or not, but something I really loved about this program was the fact that there was so much flexibility in realizing that we all have hectic, crazy lives. And I decided to just go for it. Such a good decision.
Good. Well, thank you. We're so glad that you decided to come with us. So you started off in Seattle, and then you came over from Seattle. So that must have been quite a transition to go from the two.
I feel like every single week I had a different setup because when I was in Seattle, I started off in one room, and then I sometimes did the living room, and then I was just all over the place. And it never was an issue. I think that I was really nervous about fully understanding the depth of some of these poses and understanding how to do them correctly. But I think virtually, it worked out really, really well in terms of I think I understand the things that I'm supposed to be doing with each pose that I never really understood before. And we made it work, even in small spaces. I remember you being use the wall behind you, and that would be a really good prop. And I was oh yeah, that's fits really, really well, which I did not expect.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah.
So you originally are from the East Coast, yes?
Yes, I'm from New Jersey.
You're from New Jersey,
yeah.
So having it come, and this is part of your heritage too, right? The whole yoga lineage.
Mm-hmm.
How is it learning the yoga through the sort of Western lens?
I think it's been good. I think my family wasn't one to necessarily practice yoga in any sense, Eastern or Western. What I really appreciated was the reminder, even in more Western practices, of our lineage and the fact that this comes from the East, and that remembrance, and then also learnings that were incorporated throughout. I really appreciated because it made me feel my culture and heritage were being respected. And I know that's something that is a bit tricky when it comes to yoga and kind of looking at practices. That was something I was also considering with other teacher trainings, and I think that this one really nailed it.
Oh, good. Well, thank you. If you were going to give somebody advice on whether or not they should take the training, what would you say? What would you tell them about it?
My advice would be to do it, and I know that's not necessarily advice, but if you're on the fence wondering about whether it's the right time for you or not, I don't think that there's ever a wrong time, and I think that I thought I was joining at the wrong time. I was maybe I need to have more practice and just keep practicing yoga on my own until I'm ready, but there's no such thing as ready. And I think I came out as a better student of yoga, and now that I can teach, I think I'm also learning a lot. I'm continuing to learn as a student, even though I am a teacher, and I think everyone came from really different backgrounds, and that didn't matter because everyone brought their own voice to the program. So if you're on the fence, just do it.
Well, thank you. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but It's so nice to hear it from another person. So thank you so much. It's been such a great chance to have you here. And if there's anything, can you think of anything else you'd want to say?
Probably there's so many things. I think that this is slightly off topic, but I was really struggling in Seattle and just in general after graduating college with finding communities that I wanted to be a part of. I started this program as a thing that I wanted to do for myself. It felt like an act of self-love, and it definitely was, but in doing so, I also found a really amazing community. I loved everyone that I met. I only met them in person for 2 days. That didn't seem to matter because I just had such a great time with them, and we still stay in touch, and we're trying to plan a yoga class to go to together. So I think the fact that I walked out with a community in a time where I was really struggling to find that means so much to me. So you'll get that too, because you're practicing yoga with people for weeks on end, and learning and growing together and kind of discovering yourself in whatever way works for you.
Right,
So, yeah.
Thank you. Well, we also still have the whole ambiance of the Times Square ambulances
yes.
running along behind us, so you get to get that atmosphere too. Well, great. I'm so glad. That's, I think, a big part of it is being able to communicate and create community with, and make friends and have a bunch of like-minded people to hang out with.
And like, I think like in environments where like you're really exposing yourself physically, which is something I've always struggled with, finding community can be so difficult because you're putting yourself in a lot of positions that like you can really feel insecure in. And I remember the first time I had to teach, I was like, I can't do this. Like even in the practice teaching, I was like, this is going to be awful. And it wasn't bad, and I think by the end I felt super comfortable with everyone here and being able to like get up in front of people and like talk to them and know that I'm not going to be shamed in any way, which is always something I'm afraid of when I enter like physical spaces.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's interesting. And no, like you hit it out of the park. You did an amazing job, an amazing class. Yeah. But that's interesting. I never really thought about that as far as like, that you're putting yourself in a physical space, and it can be really vulnerable.
And it's so hard feeling, like I personally have such a hard time feeling comfortable in my body, and I think that for me that was like another thing that was really big. It's just like I feel like whenever I like exercise or try to do something like physical, I always just feel like out of place, and like yoga started to feel, I won't lie, yoga did also start like that in the ways that I was learning it, because I feel like there were also, there's a lot of like forms and practices of yoga that really like, or the way that people choose to practice yoga, let me correct myself, like focus on like the body and bodily perfection. And that wasn't really ever the case here. It was just about bringing yourself and recognizing that like every body can do yoga, and like you don't have to do like these crazy poses and like back bends to like do yoga properly, which made me feel like more in place and in tune with my body too, which is a very new feeling.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. That's
Thank you.
amazing. Thank you. No, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking a few moments and talking to me and letting me film you. I know it's always such an awkward feeling, but we just are so grateful to have been able to welcome you into our family and have you a part of our team. So
Thank you.
I'm
so excited for what comes next.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to see what comes next.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Yay.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.